Hi everyone, if you're watching record, do fast forward a couple minutes here. We're going to get started. No. Yes. No. Okay. Okay, that didn't work. Maybe it is. Let's see. Okay, I'm actually live on Twitter. Yay. Yep, we are live on Twitter. This is sort of interesting. We'll see if that works. If you're watching live elsewhere, I should be up and running on all platforms today. So that's going to be Q Talk Live. I'm sorry, Q Talk on Facebook and Twitch and YouTube and my Q Farm Gray page. Twitch is still a little bit funky. I haven't been able to figure out why it is. Oh, it's up today. I haven't figured out why there's been problems, except for the fact that you needed to reload your Chrome or add the extra um, app or something. Anyway, but I can tell you that all the Twitch videos are there, and you can watch them afterwards if you can't watch them live. But we are definitely live on all the other channels. Yay, simulcasting. So today is Monday, February 28th. It is week 100. Why is it 100 plus? Well, it depends on how you're counting. So if you're counting just a matter of weeks as to when I first started, it would be 102 weeks today. But if you're counting weeks with actually been in front of the camera, is 100 weeks, because there was a couple weeks there that I needed to take off for some personal reasons. So that said, yay, 100 weeks. Wow, who knew? Who knew? I surely didn't. Some of you might have had more confidence in me than I did. How much longer are we going to go on with this? I don't know. My goal, actually let me think about this, last November, October, when I was feeling really burnt out, I decided to make it a goal. Get to 100, and then we figure it out from there. So I don't know what's going on for the next, 100, 50, 25, 20, I don't know. We're just going to sort of chug along and see what happens as things are starting to get back to normal, and I'm starting to go back into teaching in-person classes. So, what's coming up is the Glass Craft Show in Las Vegas. That's happening in April, and then from there I'm going to be in Utah at the Salt City Smithery and at Stephanie Chavez Studio. So you can definitely look for that on the, qfarmgray.com site. I have all those events listed, and I will be posting on my Facebook pages coming up here as to where I'll be. But registration is definitely open. I know that at Stephanie's studio we will be doing it as a hybrid. So for all of you people who cannot make it out to Salt Lake City, you can definitely join us virtually. So that's always exciting to me. And yeah, I know, the whole virtual thing, who knew? It's just sort of, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool that we've been able to get through all this and create something new for ourselves, pivot the business, and pivot, my job, to say the least. But it isn't without a lot of support from everyone who's watching, everyone who has liked and shared the videos. Really appreciate it. It's been really nice to have that support, because without that support we would not have been able to keep this up for this long, because for a lot of us this is our livelihood, and this is what we're doing to get by. So again, thank you. You can always, if you find there any value in what you're seeing in all of these videos, you can always contribute with the contribution link that we have put into the description of all of these videos. And for any denomination, every bit helps. So that said, where are we? We are still stone on stone. What is this, week 3? Week 4 of stone on stone. Where did we leave off last week? We left off with Q screwing up her solder job. Okay, so we did, let's review. We made a hole. We've made our setting for the top stone with the peg. So that's going to go in there at some point. We'll set that aside. And then we made this setting for this stone to go into. So we put it on a back plate. I sawed it out last week, and I also embellished it with the gallery wire that's going to set our stone, and the berry wire, which is making it really, really feminine, and then a piece of wire that I decided, 20 gauge wire, I decided to put on the side. Just to break up the eye. But if you were watching last week, you'll know that I completely screwed it up because, let's come in a little closer. As I was heating, I overheated, and trying to make corrections, I pushed down on the 20 gauge wire, and you can see from here to here, it is missing. You see there's a break in there, a literal break, not only figurative, but literal. The wire got brittle, and I pushed on it while I was heating it, and it just cracked. Here's one of the pieces. Yeah, I know. So now what? Well, when we left off last week, I thought about it, and what I was thinking was that I would go ahead and reverse solder it and take that piece of wire off. Because one of the things that I wanted to do with this Start Something New series was to put myself out there and to be really vulnerable, to show you that, this is how we work through things. So I think it's really important in people's journeys to see other people fail and how we work through all of that. So there it is, okay. Not that my heart isn't like beating at 1,000 beats a minute right now, because this is like so out there. But I was gonna reverse solder it live, which is like so freaking scary. Because I might melt the whole thing. And then I had a private student here last week, and she had seen the live, and she said, why don't you just put a piece of wire over it and forget about the break? Well, the reason why I can't just put a piece of wire over it and forget about the break is because you still would see that break unless I figured out how I can make it so you couldn't see it. Well, I couldn't exactly figure it out. So what I am deciding to do is I'm taking another piece of wire, and I'm going to fill in that break, and then I'm going to put another piece of wire over it to cover it up. That's my solution, unless any of you guys out there have another idea. That's about all I got. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm just getting creative with my tools, and I'm just going to create a bend. This is a bracelet bender, but I'm using it to, sort of bend this really small piece of wire and see if I can get it in here. And try to create a bend that fits. Okay. So, matching all these little bends is never fun nor easy, but you can do it. And I'm just going to take a little bit of time and care to do this, okay? And then I'm just going to snip it right there. And let's see what else I have here that I can use. Again, just trying to be really particular about it. Just really careful and taking it a little bit at a time. I'm hoping, dear God, please, let me finish this project today. Would be nice. Would be nice. Let me grab a pair of tweezers here too. Okay, I moved my tweezers over the weekend. What do we got? Okay, another pair of tweezers. Okay, it's close. Yeah. So close. I hate doing these little tiny bends because I feel like I can never get it right. But you just have to be really diligent. Okay. Ooh, I think I got it. You see that there? Let's bring it in really nice and tight. Yeah, there it is. So if you can't see it, that's because I'm doing a nice job making it seamless. So I'm going to push this down a little bit. There we go. And even though you're not supposed to see this wire, I'm just being really particular about it because I want it to be nice. Aha, so there. Yep, it fits in nicely. So we'll go ahead and put a little bit of solder on there. I believe we left off with some medium solder. We'll go ahead and put medium solder back down. I do use medium quite a bit, especially in the in-between process. I like to save the easy for the very end for the bail, and then the hard at the beginning for things that I just want to make for darn sure does not come off. Here, if this solder flows again on the next step, it's okay because it'll still stay in place. That's a theory anyway. Okay, so it's in there really nicely. I'm checking for the joints because I want the joints to be as tight and as invisible as possible. So a suggestion was to stack another berry, if I'm hearing this correctly, another berry wire on top of the berry wire. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, so why would I not put another piece of berry wire on top of here? Honestly, I just think it becomes too thick. And then it's a lot of work sitting here sanding all these high spots down to make a good solder joint. I have to think about it while I'm soldering here. Okay, so here I'm just going to heat from the bottom, just get everything really nice and hot. Oh, just individual berries, not a whole row of berries. Because, okay, so I think the suggestion, if I'm understanding it correctly, is to put a berry at those joints, because a joint isn't exactly at the spot that I want it to be. It's not in an even spot, so it's going to be really hard to disguise this. Okay, it's in. We're good. I know, don't tempt fate again by trying to push it down. Let it go already. Because this joint, I'd have to put one here and one here. Do you see how it's off? If I had it in like even spaces, maybe. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and quench that. I'm gonna need to pickle this. Just checking. Okay, we're gonna pickle this. And here I happen to have, I know, it's honest. I'm not even making it up. I happen to have a piece of triangle wire because I did take out some wire this morning, some 18 gauge wire, and I tried to put it around and it didn't really do well for me. I was like, it's, you know, round sitting on top of round, and it didn't seem to disguise it enough. And I was thinking, I wonder if I happen to have any triangle wire left, because at least a triangle wire, there's one flat side, right, that I can maybe put, you know, make a more flush connection to that round wire I had put down. So that said, I happen to have this triangle wire. I don't even know the size. What I do know, I don't know the size because I got rid of it, because this is scrap that I have at this point. Because what I do know is I can't find it anymore in this size. It's teeny weeny. It's probably considered about 18 gauge wire. So yeah, I can't find it. So why bother? I'm just sharing it with you. If you guys find triangle wire this size, let me know. It would be nice to have it again. I bought it a long time ago thinking that I would use it for other projects. It sat here forever, and then when I did decide to put it into a project, I just outright couldn't find it. It's really welcome to my life, right? Isn't this how it always goes? So I'm just shaping it right now, assuming I know about the size. I'll go ahead and anneal this while I am pickling the other piece, okay? It's gotten springy over the years. I've literally had this piece of wire and the little bit of triangle wire that I have for probably 10 years. So finally putting it to use. Okay, we'll put this in the pickle too. I thought the pickle was hot. It is not as hot as I thought. Okay. We'll just pull it out and clean it. So Andy wants me to let you know that Twitch is up and running right now. At least for him. Hopefully for you guys too. So sometimes when you take things out of the pickle, it still looks like there's some black spots on it. You know, it's just schmutz, dirt. And it will come off very easily. You don't have to always wait until it's completely white. You just need to give it a little bit of a brush and then it's clean. Just like that. Because, you know, sometimes you'll just be waiting there forever because it's actually dirt and it's not fire scale. So be aware of that. Okay, so while we're waiting for the other piece to pickle, what I'm going to do, so what I've decided to do is I am going to cut the back out and I'm going to create a wave back here for where the pin will be riveted to. So the easiest thing to do is to go ahead and grab a divider wherever, oh, there it is. I'm going to grab a divider and I'm going to score the inside of this to create a line so that it is even all the way around. And I know you guys probably can't see it, but I can, and that's what's important. So that line will be my guide for sawing. Okay, so we're going to saw this out really quickly. Actually, I can saw this out while we wait for the other piece to pickle. Hold on. Oops. Because we're sawing on the inside, we're going to have to pierce a hole too. So let's go ahead and center punch a couple spots here. We'll do one here and one here. Okay. Get out our high-speed drill bit. Doesn't matter what size, just as long as it's big enough for the for your saw blade to pass through, right? Because we're going to saw on the inside. So whichever makes you comfortable, whichever drill bit. You know, the thing is, I don't go too small, like into the 70s, except if I was to be doing, some fine piercing, because it's just opportunity for me to break the, to break the drill bit if I get it too small. So, okay, clearly I'm struggling to get this in evenly today. Always run your flex shaft to make sure that your bit is running straight. So we're just gonna make a couple holes. No, I do not care that it is into my bench, because that's what my bench is for. It's how I feel about it. It makes it look rustic. It's sort of fun. I like it. Okay, let's pull out a marker and I'm gonna draw my pattern here. My wave. What wave are we doing? All right, maybe we'll do it like that. Just sort of something All right, so here I'm gonna set up my bench pin and grab my saw. Let's see, we'll go with the 2/0 saw blade. Give me a second here. I'm going to reposition my my other camera. There we are. What just happened there? That is called a bad mouse click. Sorry. This is what happens when you have a mouse on your workbench. Yeah. So weird. What did I just do? Anyway, okay. We're just gonna, oops, we're just gonna go with this. Sorry, I have no idea what's going on here. Okay, I know. You guys have no idea what's going on either. All right, let's do this. Okay. That's not Titus, that's my socks. FYI. A little bit of wax goes a long ways. Remember when you're sawing to use the entire length of the saw blade. If you notice, it's going quite quickly for me, which is great. Someone just commented that I need to check to make sure that the setting of the small stone will be on the wave. You know what? I totally forgot to do that. Let's see. I think I guessed properly. Okay, I think we're okay. I'm also glad you said that because I almost went all the way around. Oops. Because, you know, when I get to sawing, it's just sort of like, so meditative. I just keep going. And of course, my brain is in a million different places right now. Duh. Okay, so we're just gonna, before we cut the other side, because we can still make an adjustment, we're gonna stick this in here. Oh God. Did I? Oh God. Well, so much for that idea. I did it upside down. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Because, you know, this is not a perfect oval. It is fatter on this side than it is on this side. Oh. Okay. Well, it would have worked just fine. See, it actually would have worked just fine on this side. Can I squeeze it in there? That's the question. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can squeeze it in there. Can I make it work? Can I make it work? Well, the beauty about this is I have an open back. Okay, don't crack the stone. I have an open back, so I can always push the stone back out. If I didn't have an open back, I wouldn't try this. I would let it go already, and we would be gluing. You know what? Look at that. I think it's gonna work. I think it's fine. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oops. So the question was, do I need to grind the edge to make it fit? You know what? That's a really good idea. I'm going to do a little tiny bit of grinding on this side. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And it just occurred to me. Wait a second. I'm sort of upside down. So there. Right side up again. Okay. So let's grind this baby. I'm dying here. I'm dying. This has been a comedy of errors. Okay, so today, for sure, I'm going to go past an hour. But I am going to finish this today, so hang in there. Hang in there. I am doing this. Well, more steps than we anticipated. So what I have here is a stone. It's one of those red stones, and it is good for this very purpose. Except I need some water. You know what? I'm just going to put it in my quench water here. And let's see. I just need to take down a tiny little bit. Probably right here. Just to get that to fit a little tiny bit more. So much for that apron. I'm glad you all can relate to this. Yes, it happens to all of us. And then I do that. Did you see that? Okay, not enough to worry about. That's good. Okay. Let's take a look. Tiny bit more. You see, I just want it down a little bit more. See, it's not really tight in the back here like it is. It's not really flush like it is on this side. You guys can see that gap there. Okay, so I'm gonna take it down just a bit more just to get that really nice and flush. And since it's on the side, it sort of doesn't matter. Oh, it's coming. See, it's popping in a lot more easily now. A little tiny bit more. And by the way, this is not amateur hour. Let's be honest, okay? In that this is legit. People do this. I was in a commercial jewelry store, and I absolutely watched their people do this, and it was perfectly legit. Yay! Look at that. Especially again, it's on the side. No one's ever going to see it, so it doesn't matter. If you're not going to run the risk of breaking your stone or cracking your stone, why not help yourself? So this works brilliantly. So happy. Okay, so I'm glad Marcy pointed out that back plate, because I am ever so slightly off in there. I know where it is, so we're just gonna adjust this a little bit. So there was a suggestion by a viewer out there that if you've not ground stones before, you might want to wear a mask. You know, honestly, typically I would do this with a lot of water to keep the dust down. But if you're grinding stones, do be careful, because not all stones should be doing this stuff. Like angelite and malachite, they're toxic. And or even anything that has shell in it, it's not good for you. So I wouldn't even touch malachite if I were you. But and I would not be doing angelite or jade. Jade's another one that's out there that you don't want to really touch. So be careful, be aware, do your diligence. Thanks for the reminder. Sorry? So if you're looking for this bit, we do not carry this bit, just to let you know. We do carry the diamond bit for the drilling of the hole there. Okay, I did that incorrectly. I followed the wrong line. I know. You want to talk about comedy of error? There it is. I sort of followed the wrong line, but because I missed the hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and saw this right in there, like so. Let's see. Do I like the shape? It's sort of weird. This shape. I'm just correcting my shape a little bit just to make it a little bit more interesting. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my sanding arbor bands. I'm going to sand this really quickly. It'll make life go a lot faster. In fact, now that I think about it, I could probably use this. Let's see how this works. All I have to say is if you're going to use this, it goes really fast. So be careful. Yeah. Not exactly recommended, but it works. I'm probably going to kill the stone if I do it that way, but you see, my shape's coming together really nicely. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. So now I'm going to pull out my other files. We're going to file this just to get all those burrs off. Okay. And notice I'm doing this at an angle, again, just to get all those burrs off. I see here this shape is not really great right there, so I'm actually going to go right back in and shape that up a little bit. And notice how I'm moving it around because I don't want to make a gouge in my stone. If you just hold it here on the stone, you're going to make a gouge and cut right through it. So I'm just sort of moving it around. There you go. Better shape. Okay. Again, I'm working at an angle, a slight angle, to take off the burrs and to create a little bit of a bevel. All right, I'm going to pull out a needle file here too. go. And I'm just refining my shapes. Okay, this I'm not loving. I'm gonna fix that. How can I fix that? But wait, before I do that, let's make sure. Okay, so the hole's still good. I think we're gonna come up. Let's see. And notice how it pops right in and out because we shaved down the side of the stone. Get that out of my way. This is a weird shape. Wait, where is that stone supposed to go? It's supposed to go to the right over here. I think we'll just do it like that. Huh? Right? Yeah. Okay. Again, it's about seeing your design and fixing it as you need it. You know, don't get too crazy about how it didn't look like what you had intended, because sometimes you have to be fluid, especially with your skill to your design, because some of us create things or imagine things that are far ahead of our skill, or that we screw up like I just did, and you just have to either scrap it and start over or go with what has been presented for you. So I'm going to fix this a little bit here too. Let's see. A little bit better. Can you see that better? It's a little bit better. So I have a bit of a flat spot right here, and that's what I'm working on. So I want to try to round this out to remove said flat spot. Better. Maybe if this wasn't so round up here, it would look a little bit less awkward. Yeah. It's feeling really sharp on the inside. I want to make sure that I'm not leaving burrs that are so high that the stone can't sit flat. Okay, and then on this side again, take off some of those burrs. Okay, I still have a flat spot right here. We'll take that off a little bit more with this. It'll go faster. I'm just trying to make a better oval. I know, is it making your teeth gnash? There it is. Much better. I know I get really particular about that, but I don't know if everybody does that. I just can't unsee some of the flaws sometimes. And I know that not many other people can see it, and that you should never really point out your flaws. By the way, when you hand off a piece, some of your work. Never point out your flaws because no one else can see it but you. And despite that, I just feel like the camera is in so close on these pieces that you can definitely see my flaws. By the way, those are not flaws. That's a Sharpie. Okay. So now I'm just going to take some sandpaper. We'll clean that up a little bit. Make it feel good to the hand. That's important. All right. So here you'll see, you can't see, I can barely see, this is my correction, is right here of the wire. We'll go ahead and grab the other wire out of the pickle. It's been in there long enough. Let's see. Pickle, where are you? There it is, okay. And then we'll bend that next frame around it, put the bail on, set it, and we should be, almost done. Like, wait a second. I forgot the stone and stone part. Okay. So here. Oh, wow. Good guess, huh? That makes me happy. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Let's cut it. Try not to cut it short. You guys can see that? It's just a teeny weeny bit too long. Most people would file this, but you know, filing's a 4-letter word that starts with an F. I prefer to cut. Okay. Still a hair too big. It's a teeny bit of a hair right there. Okay. That's how much I cut off. Try it one more time. I always do it a little tiny bit at a time because you can always take off metal, but you can't put it on. Okay, so that's going to be fine. We'll go ahead and bring this together. Ensure that the flat side, you see, is nice. Okay, so my cut, you can see here, is not straight. I'll go ahead and file that. Instead of cutting. Just like so. So again, this is a challenge of a piece that's so big. It's trying to get the ring to come together perfectly and stay together for soldering. Whew, there it is. All right, we're gonna switch cameras here in just a second. Yeah. Oh, I dropped the camera. This is what happens. You know, after 100 weeks of doing this, yes, some things have gotten better, while other things, I don't think it's ever going to change. That, you know, when I'm done, there's this huge mess on my desk that just, you know, always takes me another 15 minutes to put everything away once I'm done. But I feel like I'm like that all the time anyway with when I work at the bench. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, that, you know, it just gets messy when you're working. Okay, as much as I got it together, it popped, which means it was gonna pop anyway. Okay, Okay, so I'm going to heat this just a little bit. I'm going to heat it on the back side. It was a trick that was shown to me by a student. Instead of heating the whole thing at the same time, to get it to not pop. So now we'll heat the whole thing. And I'm just getting it warm before I put any solder on there. So because this is the first joint, I'm going to put some hard solder on there. Like so. And we're using solder paste. And we're just going to solder this together, and then I'm going to reshape it again once it's soldered. It gives me good leverage. Come on. You always want to heat the whole thing because it's silver, and we're using butane. We're not using propane or acetylene or even natural gas. It's not as hot. There we go. Perfect. Okay, give a little bit of sanding. Okay, it'll work better if I use this. This is triangle wire, so I want to make sure that I maintain the integrity of the shape and not just go flat over it, because that's not helpful. And I'm using triangle wire because of the flat side. I'm hoping that that lays better. Okay, we'll throw this in the pickle real quick. Oh, okay, so while we're doing that, let's see. We're gonna have to mark this. Can I get this in there? Oh. Nice try, nice try. I don't have a pencil here. You know what? We'll do it like this. Yes, I'm cheating. This is how I'm going to mark my hole. There it is. Right there. We'll go ahead and center punch that too, because we're going to have to drill a hole for this. Do I have a drill bit that is big enough? Of course I do. I must. It's a little small. 3mm drill bit. Let's see how this one goes. So I found a trick of drill bits. You know, for a long time I couldn't keep track of which drill bits were used, and I like to use, you know, do the first in, first out thing. So I discovered that if I put it in opposite of all the other ones, then I always know which one is used. Okay, let's see if this one fits. Okay, so that's my hole. It's the right size. And we'll go ahead and drill it on, hold on, getting rid of my bench pin here. We'll drill it on the bench pin, because look, there's a nice little hole in there that I can just use and drill right down on it, okay? So in 100 weeks, I hope you all have learned a little something, other than you're not the only one that makes mistakes. I hope you picked up some new skills. I hope you guys have been working along and refining your skills. That would be great. Okay. Yes, I'm taking it quite slow, actually. You know what? I hate drilling big holes. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to drill a pilot hole first, because it seems to always make my life a lot easier if I start with something a little bit smaller. So I'm going to start with a smaller bit. Oh. Okay. What was that? That did not make me feel good, but I know it's not right. All right, there it is. So we're gonna make it right. Yeah, drilling bigger holes is just not fun. And I feel like I didn't give myself enough metal. I might just be gluing this in. And if that's the case, it is what it is, right? Right. Not a pretty sound, I know, but it is, again, sort of what it is. Oh, see that? Just enough metal. Oh, oh. Jiminy Christmas. Oh. Okay, let's take that burr off. I know, no one's ever gonna see it, but it's a huge bit of burr. And I do want to get some of that off. Okay. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit going this direction. You know what? There's so much. Maybe I can just, oh, yay. Oh, yeah, okay, even better. Look at that. Done deal. Double check, make sure it fits. It does fit. Okay. Clean it. All right, let's check on that piece of wire. Solder that down, solder the bail on, and set this thing already. Yes. Okay. Look at that. All right, so here, what do I see? I see slight imperfections. Let's see if I can make that correction. And that's how we're gonna go. You see that? So now it disguises everything. Everything's just sort of hidden in there. We'll go ahead and pull this off a little tiny bit. Place solder all around and push it right over it, okay? Let's get some more solder out here. It's a little sloppy, but I'm going to come back and fix that after I get the bulk of the solder down. After I move the wire into place, I can always clean it up. There you go. So here, we'll just clean that up. I know there's plenty of solder in there. So this cleanup here will save a lot of cleanup later. Okay. That. Make sure I'm heating on the inside because it's really thick and not just the outside. Make sure everything gets nice and hot. There it goes. Pretty happy. Let's quench that. Yes, you do need to cross everything, but this gets soldered. I appreciate everyone praying to the solder gods. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to put the bail on. It's a little loose. Oh, see? It's a little loose. So we're going to squeeze this down a little bit to create tension. And then put it back on. Oh, I think I got it. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to solder it on just like this. No, I'm not. Maybe. Am I going to solder on just like that? Okay, maybe squeeze a little bit more tension into that. All right, debating. How do I want to do this? Maybe here. All right, so what I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and take this off, put some solder on there, and then put this back on. We're going to go with easy solder at this point. Oops. A little bit of solder there. On both sides, because I want the front and the back to solder, not just the back, okay? And I'll put some on each side. So on each lip, of course. There we are. I'm just being a little freak right now. Triple checking, make sure that it's straight. Again, get everything nice and hot. Make sure you heat from below, also heat from the sides. I actually don't know if that solder went. Oh, there it is. I can see it now. Try not to melt anything at this point. Try not to overheat that. I'm like freaking out because I feel like if I overheat the bale, it's gonna be brittle and break like the wire. So I'm like, oh. You know, it's a little PTSD from last week. What can I say? Let's check it. Oh, she's on there. And look, I even hallmarked it. I never hallmark my stuff. I know it's a complaint from people. I just never hallmark my stuff. I forget all the time. Okay, let's clean this up. So what do you think? Do you think we can set this already? Do you think it's gonna work? I hope so. Really, really, really hope so. Okay. Let's check the pickle. A little bit longer in the pickle. It's actually getting hot. It took forever today for some reason. Probably because it's cold down here today. By the way, I had a request over the weekend for IT solder paste. Really, really hard to find that stuff, and there was enough of a request that I am adding it. I added it to the website, and so if you want, it's going to be a special order, very limited quantities. So if you want some IT solder paste, this is the time to get it. What is IT solder paste? It's actually the flow temp is actually higher than hard. So you would only use it on like copper or maybe fine silver. A lot of enamelists like to use it because if you're trying to enamel a soldered piece, you need to solder it with the IT, or also known as eutectic solder. So don't even ask me how to spell that. The problem with finding IT solder is if you Google IT solder, it becomes IT solder. So that's really hard, and spelling eutectic is another thing too. But anyway, you can find it on our Urban Beater website. I just posted it yesterday, so it's like I said, it's just going to be a special order. It'll take a couple weeks to come in and to ship back out. But if you're interested, it's going to be a limited time that we'll have it offered. Okay, it's $17 for the tube. It's a little bit more expensive. And by the way, did you guys see the price of silver? Yep. They say that this little big conflict in Ukraine is going to drive that price. Historically, when there's conflict in the world, the price of metals goes up. So you might want to make an investment while you can before the prices all go up. I did last week, so hopefully that will work out for us. There we go. Okay. Yay. Gonna double check everything. Make sure everybody's in. We are in. I do not need to do anything with that. Dear God, please fit. Dear God, let the hole be in the right place. Oh! No, the hole's slightly off. Look. Jiminy Christmas. Question is it big enough? It's not. Son of a gun. Okay, now what, people? Now what? I can make the hole bigger, but that's just a wonky hole in the back. That's awful. That is just awful. Okay, you know what? I say we glue it. Because, hey, if other people can glue it, why can't I glue it? Right? What do you think, honey? Andy says glue it too. All right. Well, now you know what not to do. So I'm gonna pull out the bench pin. I'm gonna finish sawing this off really quickly here. You know, I saw pretty quickly, so it's only gonna take a minute. Give me a second here. Let's do this. I'm sorry, say that again, honey. Okay, so the suggestion was that go ahead and rivet it right to the stone. I think that's what the comment was. I think. Is that what you're saying, Deborah? Okay, hold on. I gotta turn the other camera back on. Remember, I dropped it? So the suggestion was to saw the tube. Stop shaking. Saw the tube into quarters to make it splay a lot easier. You know, that's not a bad idea. I wonder. I'm not clear I have enough. I'm not clear I have enough to do that. Okay, so you're saying splay it and glue it. Huh. Didn't even think about doing it that way. But let's get rid of this piece of metal first. Okay. Camera is a little close to my saw, that the saw is bumping it. Oops. See, I told you it was going to go quick. Let's just leave that on the floor. All right. Okay, so lots of comments on there on different ways to approach this. I'm at the point where, okay, so yeah, lots of creative things that we can do here. No, I couldn't drill another hole because it was too close to the edge and then it would have created a wonky hole. Now I did, well, in that moment, consider piercing a disc also to cover the hole, just to make it a little less unsightly, but then that was also like, oh God, one more thing to add. So I'm gonna take the easy way out here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just shaping this so that it's a little bit of a nicer shape. Much nicer. So it was also suggested that I take a ball burr to the back of the stone to make a reservoir for the glue, for the epoxy. Now that I think about it, where is my epoxy? Well, There's that question, huh? All right, there it is. I'm calling it quits. I'm going to set the stone now. Because, you know, once it's set, it's over. And then, let's see. As we'll set her. So we're just going to push it in with our bezel setter. And then I'm going to come back with my burnisher and we're just going to move it down. Like so. So it's hugging right next to the stone. So why have I never done stone and stone before? Not my aesthetic. Not something, you know, I never quite found it interesting. There we go. Burnisher wasn't working, so I'm going back to my rocker. There we are. It's in. It's interesting. I mean, it's, you know, with how that went. Let's see what we're doing with this. So here, it would go this way. How do I want to do this? I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and set the stone in. Because apparently that didn't get soldered down like I thought it would. Like I thought I had it soldered in. Oh, jeez. Okay, just dropped my stone. Be right back. Okay. So we'll go ahead and set this in. It'll keep the peg in place, which is nice. Because the peg was moving on me because it obviously did not get soldered the way I wanted it to solder in, but that's okay. Because it's just a peg and I knew that I was okay with it because I knew that it was going to be held in once I set the stone anyway, right? So this is so small. This is so small, I'm going to take out this one. Let's see if I can push that in a little bit better. Yeah, just like so. All right. So now we're gonna have to find some epoxy. Totally forgot about that part. Well, I didn't anticipate it. But you know, I wonder really if I could actually get this to set like so. Right on, rivet it right onto the stone. That's a question. Should we tempt fate? Oh, God. I don't know. What should we do? Should we tempt fate, babe? Andy says no, glue it. Okay, you know what? There has been so many different things that have happened with this. Why not? How much worse can it possibly get? And if it doesn't work,
please try again.
We'll glue it. Let me think about this though. I don't like the way this is sitting. Okay, there we are. Let's see. Do I think I can show it to you like this? Maybe. And still hold it? Maybe. Nope. Can't change the hand position. The hand's got to stay there. All right. Hold on, reaching for the hammer here. And it ended up how? The other problem too is I can't put this on a bench block because the stone will definitely crack. You know, it's not going. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some epoxy. Yeah, because you know, you can't exactly do it on wood. I was hoping maybe, but it's slipping and it's not pretty. So, and also here, the other thing too is it's at an angle to the stone, right? The stone is curved, which means this peg is sitting at an angle. You see that? So you can't exactly rivet it flat. So that's a problem in itself. Okay, I'm gonna go get epoxy. I'll be right back. All right, let's switch our cameras again. Okay, so epoxy it is. That's the final decision. Two-part epoxy. Here's a trick for you. If you ever buy two-part epoxy and the syringe top is connected, they think it's helpful. It's not. So what I do is I cut that back so I can control the amount of glue that comes out. So I just need a teeny weeny bit. That should be more than enough. And then do the other side. The thing about epoxy is if you don't do it evenly, it will never set properly. And therein lies the trick. That's always a trick. Okay, I know I'm gonna do something really horrible. I'm using my cutters to do that. Oh, on wood. Okay, does that look even to you? We'll go like this. So mix, mix, mix. Make sure it's mixed really well. I'm a little bit overboard on the mixing, but this also guarantees that it gets mixed properly. So when you say put a ball burr to it, I think you're saying to put it on this side, right? Not the back side. But I think it's okay. I think we're just gonna put some on here like so. grab my tweezers. On the back of the stone, not the front. Okay, don't like that either, what I'm just doing there. All I see is glue spewing out, so we'll just coat it nicely. Try to keep everything as clean as possible. There we are. Okay. Just gonna try and clean some of that up, just a little tiny bit. And we're gonna come in from the back side a little bit here. Okay, so I just put a little bit on the peg, right there. And I'm gonna take a clean needle here, and I'm gonna help it in. Sort of work that glue in there. Make sure that it is plenty of glue. Okay, so I realize that's sticking out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to either file it or saw it off, but I'm not going to do it until this is completely solid and dry. In the meantime, let's make this what we want it to be, like so. That's it. I'm going to call this done once and for all. Oh my goodness. What a pain. There we are. Okay, what do you think? You guys gonna do it? Me? Never again. That's it. One and done. Okay, that's one of the things I've never done before, and it is over. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I will post the final picture of this once this is dry and polished up, because all that's left to do is really to polish this up. Did I just push that back up? It did, didn't it? I want to make sure that's down. Okay, so we're going to put that right on here, because remember that peg was a little bit long, so if I put it flat to the table, it's going to push it back up, right? Anyway, I'll post the final picture probably on Instagram and my Facebook page, because it is what it is. And I don't know, maybe we'll put it up for auction and raise some money for charity, because Lord knows I'm not wearing this. It's a little too girly for me. I know I like girly things, but this is a little too girly for me. So anyway, again, hopefully you learned a little something. Maybe you learned that this is not something you ever want to do. Maybe it's something that you'll attempt. If you do attempt it, send me a picture of your finished project, because I would love to see where you went with it. Next week on Monday, on Start Something New, I'm going to do castellated bezels. Another thing I've never done, not my aesthetic, but I've been asked to test out a couple of castellated bezel jigs. So I'm testing them, and I'm going to do a comparison live, and we'll see how it goes. On Wednesday, what are we doing on Wednesday? I don't know. We're doing a UFO, I think. And I believe that's all I can think of. Anyway, so it's 100. Here we are, 100 weeks, and we are finishing up something new. So, but I guess it's sort of appropriate, right? That at 100 weeks, we're going to start something new. Anyway, that said, thank you again, everyone, for hanging in there and liking and sharing all the posts and all your support. Really appreciate it. Here's to much more in the future. Any more comments, honey, before I go off? Oh, don't forget, Virtually Ever Crafting is still, registration is still open. There is a new coupon out there. If you missed the first one, here's your chance to get a little bit more off, $6. It is on the homepage of virtuallyevercrafting.com. So do take a look. If you have any questions on that, reach out. But it's a great way to take classes from people around the world and people that you would have never been able to have the opportunity otherwise. So we're excited and looking forward to that. In the meantime, have a great week and enjoy. Go enjoy the weather. The sun is out here, and I need to take little Titus for a walk. So I'll see you guys later. See you on Wednesday. Bye.